thank God he delivered me. Why should I be bound? Disconnecting ourselves from things, watch this, that can affect us from going forward or interfere with where we are at this present moment is very important. Now, I got to be myself, can I? Just because you are a member of a church, it don't mean I got to be your friend. Everybody can't be my friend. And it's not because of what you got on or how you wear your hair or where you go, but I have to disconnect myself from people that are not allowing my spiritual life to go forward. If you're in a church and they're always gossiping or always criticizing the leader, they're always criticizing the church, they're jealous of folk, always running their mouth, you're not the one that I want to be with. I've got to connect myself to people that want to go somewhere with God. Now, I have no problem being with people that's my age, but most of the people that I'm with is a younger generation. And the reason why is because I'm too busy trying to stay young myself. I don't have time to be with folk when I call them up and they say, girl, how you feel? Child, I don't know. What you mean you don't know? You need to say I'm blessed. Y'all don't hear me. I have to be with people that want to go somewhere in God. I got to be with people that want to be something in God. I don't have time to be with people that's complaining all the time. All of us in here could find something to complain about. I could sit down and cry right now if I felt like it. First of all, people look at me every day and they say, oh, look at Evangelist Gardner. Look at Pastor Gardner. But most folks don't know that I don't have what you call a biological family except my children and their families now. I was raised as a foster child. I was in the system all my life. I didn't have sisters and brothers and mama and daddy and cousins and aunties and all that. I didn't have those type of things in my life. I worked my way through school to get my education and get my degrees in things. I worked my way through. But it's only because I disconnected myself from people that didn't want to go nowhere. Overlook anything. We must not take anything for granted. Watch this. Ignoring stuff only lasts so long. But eventually we will have to deal with it. You got to see yourself along with God being in charge and not dominated by what has challenged you and not be dominated about what you see now and be dominated by losing your faith in God. I don't care about them saying we're in a recession. I'm not in a recession. I'm in a blessing. Whether you know it or not, this recession that the world is talking about, it's a blessing for the saints. Because I'm going to give you houses that you didn't even build. I'm going to give you land, honey, that you didn't even have to go buy. This is my time to prove myself to you. I've never seen the righteous forsaken. I've never seen my seed begging for bread. I was telling my granddaughter today, yesterday or last night, I said I'm not going to be living like I'm poor. I have not changed my living habits. I go out and eat when I feel like it. I enjoy life when I feel like it. I'm not going to walk around. I'm a tithe payer. I'm a giver. And when you give to God and you support your church and you support your leaders, God's not going to see you go under. We must not be afraid to face or confront anything. Look over and tell your neighbor, say, don't you be afraid to face and confront anything. There are people all over the church, all over the world, that have been hindered, delayed, blocked, weakened, weighed down in their minds, hurt, sad, holding on to bad stuff, faith-killing stuff, level-stopping stuff, junk, all because you did not shake it off. Get your neighbor again and say, you better shake it off. Can I help you? And those that didn't want me to be mama want me to be godmother. I said that the devil is a lie. The way some of y'all act, can't nobody love you but your mama. Only your mama can put up with you. It's a dangerous thing. I told him to call me mama. Because see, I didn't raise my children with this new mentality. I raised mine when I spoke. Hey, that's it. I want to hear no more. And I was the sweetest mother in the world. But one thing I did not tolerate, and that was disrespect. And can I tell you something now? They grown, baby. You hear me? I don't tolerate disrespect now. And all of them in their 40s. All my children in their 40s, and I don't tolerate disrespect now. I don't go to their house and try to tell them what to do, but good God from Zion, don't come in mine and tell me what to do. A lot of stuff should have been gone from us long time ago, and we still have holding on to it. We've got to stop carrying dead weight. We must ask ourselves, is this helping me? Is this hurting me? Is this hindering me? Is this keeping me from going where I need to go with God? Is this increasing me, or is this decreasing me? In the text in Acts of the Apostle, chapter 28, verse 5, and he shook off the beast into the fire, and the Bible said he felt no harm. Notice Paul shook off a snake. And the word shook means to brush something off. Remove it. Don't let it bother you. Ignore it. Don't let it stop you. Paul was bitten by a snake. But he was not affected by the snake bite. One thing that is very important, that the people on that island, where this took place, they were heathens. Heathens. They were unsaved people. And y'all don't know, baby, we got folk jumping and shouting and speaking in tongues in the church acting like heathens. Am I doing all right? Acting like heathens. But they saw that Paul had gotten bitten. And I said where they were, it had to be church people there. Because when I studied that, I said, God, it must have been a bunch of church people there. Because when he got bitten, they start talking a bunch of negative stuff. Don't that sound like church folks? If somebody gets sick with something, if somebody come down with a disease, honey, I know something's going to happen because, child, they got to stop playing with God. It does not mean because somebody gets sick that they are playing with God. If I never be sick, how can I have a testimony? If I never go through nothing, how can I tell you that God is able? Wow, if a challenge don't come in my life, how can I stand up and tell the world that they wait on God, that God would bring them out of it? Verse 4 explains it very carefully. And when the barbarians saw the poisonous beast hanging on his hand, the Bible said they said among themselves, no doubt this man is a murderer. Oh, this man had escaped the sea, and yet vengeance or revenge or payback is coming to him. And look at him now, he's going to suffer. Paul had just survived a shipwreck. He ended up on this island while picking up sticks to add fire. And a snake connected himself to Paul's hand, biting him. And that's when he shook it off.